welcome to another video. In this video, we're actually going to install a media server. And if any of you have heard of Plex server, that's what we're installing today. I've already did the basics of creating this antlet, so we're just going to jump right into it. First, we need to set up our network. So I'm going to go ahead and cd into this folder. But I also want to get nano. Yeah, I did it right. Because of course, you know, we're going to have to, I'm going to do an ls on this directory. That's the file that we're actually going to edit there. So we're going to do nano. We're going to paste that in. And if you remember this file from my other videos, nano is really great because we're just going to go down to this line. We're going to select that, right click, and it's going to copy it for us. That's literally all we need to do, because it's okay that this is actually taking DHCP, because this is again for an example. But if you did this, you can actually set static IPs, or you can get the MAC address after this server gets its IP. And then you can literally block your router from reassigning that IP. So I'm going to do my Control O. Do you want to save? Yes. Control X. So now that we actually have that, let's do a test IP space A. But we need to do net plan try first, because we need to try our settings. IP A, and we have our address 10.14.0.113. Remember that address, because that's the address we're going to use to get to our server at the end. So the next thing that we're actually going to do, let me free up some space down here. We're actually going to download the Plex server. And don't worry about if you can't keep up with the steps. I will have them in the description below on my website, so you can always go and install it, do this step from step. I've tried these out, they actually work. So this is just literally here, easy for you to do, that will work for your installation. So I did my wget, and the next thing we're going to do, once this is actually downloaded, it shouldn't take too long. Where did you go? It shouldn't take too long. So we are downloaded here. I'm going to do the dpkg, and I'm going to do the install of this package. The cool thing about this is once we install it, it's installed, everything is set up. That is literally how easy it is to set up a Plex server here. So I'm going to hit enter a little bit to get some lines beneath us, and then we're going to run this command to get the status of our Plex server. So as you see, our server's already installed and it's actively running, which is a good thing. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to edit the package list. And the package list is going to make sure that our Plex server always gets the latest and greatest updates. And again, we're going to use nano for that. All right. So you have one line in here. This has the package where it actually downloads the repos for Plex. It makes sure that your version is running the latest and greatest thing, of course. So all you have to do is take the hashtag out. Again, anytime you have a hashtag inside of the .list files, or especially .list files, it's actually color coded, where you have your blues and greens. Blues, of course, is your comment, and then you have your color coded commands. And you can look that up later, or I'll probably try to give you a document to show you what all the color codes actually mean. So in this document, we're going to do a Control O. Yes, we want to save it. Control X. We're going to exit out of there. So now that we actually have it exited, we want to run an update really quick. Once we run this upgrade, we also want to do, or an update, we want to run an upgrade. Let's see if we can get it. Yes, go ahead and update that. This shouldn't take too long. Sometimes this takes, a minute. Sometimes it takes 5 minutes. It all depends on your network speed and what packages need to be updated and how old your Linux distro is that you've installed. So the next thing that we're actually going to do after this is finished, we want to install NetTools. And the only thing NetTools is going to get us, or is going to do for us, is it's going to tell us if our ports actually open. So this statement here just means that, do you want to start the packages back after we update? You say yes. We are almost there. So the next thing we want to get is the NetTools. So again, the NetTools are there so we can actually figure out what port Plex is actually running on here. So a cool command that you can use now is you can use netstat. So we're going to do a sudo netstat, and then we're going to do the input, and we're going to grep Plex, which is the name of the port that we've actually opened. Let's see. Oh, well, it would help if I actually had the entire command. So as you see, these are all the ports that you have now opened when you set up Plex. All these things are ports that your network will recognize as a Plex server. So there's one thing that I actually want to show you here, and I'm going to see if I can bring it up here, because it should already be active on most Windows clients. Sometimes it takes a little bit for it to actually show on Windows clients, so we will go back to it. So the next thing that we want to do is actually, of course, test our Plex server out. So I'm going to go to a web browser here, and I'm going to type in my IP, 10.14.0.113, I believe. And we need to talk to this on port 32400. This is the default port for Plex. And then we're going to do a slash, and we're going to do a web. Let's see if our server responds. So as you see, we've loaded into our Plex server. This is actually going to connect with your social media account, or you can create kind of your own account. So what I'm going to do is log in with my account real quick, and I will. All right, so as you see, I've logged in with my account. This is kind of how Plex works right here. Again, if you're familiar with Plex, or if you're not familiar with Plex, this is how you do it here. Things on your network will start seeing the Plex server, and you can access it from any computer that's on your network, because the ports are well known to every computer on your network, or every device on your network, that this is a streaming system that houses your media files. So you can just say, got it. Of course, you can pay these guys. We're not going to pay them. We're going to hit the X there. They actually found a server. You can give your server a name. We'll call it that. This is a friendly name. If you're somewhere in your network and you're looking for this server, you're going to be able to see it by that name. I'm still refreshing in kind of the Windows Explorer, because Windows Explorer is able to actually see the Plex server without giving it any ports, without giving it anything. You can do adding of libraries. So this is where you can start adding your different external sources. This works really well if you have a SANs within your network that you want to set up this Plex server for. So right now we'll just go to next. We won't add one. Of course, you can get the Plex app, and if the Plex app is connected to your network, you'll be able to see this. So this Plex server is really kind of integrated within your network now. So you can say done. So now you're in your Plex server, You're logged in with whatever account that you're using. You can go premium if you want to, but you don't have to. You can check the status of your server to see if anything's working. You can check alerts. You can sync your content, anything that the system is converting, and things that are now playing from your Plex environment. So I won't go through a full how to use Plex in this video. This just kind of gives you an example of things that you can do. Of course, you can jump into your settings. You can look at your versions. It'll tell you if you have any updates. So what you've pretty much done was install this media system into your network now. So anywhere on your network, if you have movies on a drive or on a computer somewhere, you can throw them straight into this ecosystem, and you're able to literally just watch your stuff from there. This system also will allow you to use plugins. So if there's certain plugins that you have that you want to use, you can definitely use it. I'll kind of show you how the library piece works. Just a real quick run through. So if you want to do add library, you want it to do movies, of course you can give it a name. You can go to next, and you can says browse media folder. So if you look here, this right here is looking at vorlib Plex media server. And again, we will look at this a bit later, but we'll go back to our Linux box here, and we're going to CD to that location. So as you see, you have library, and in your library location, this is where your information is being stored. So what you would do is, if you had a network storage somewhere, you could mount it to this location, and you would be able to pick items from that mounted drive and literally connect to your Plex server. I think I'll probably do another video to kind of walk you through how the Plex server actually works and how you can connect things to it with the SANs, but this is just kind of a demonstration of how to get Plex installed on your Linux server. Again, this is Ubuntu. These steps won't work for a CentOS or a Red Hat based kernel. This is more for the Ubuntu kernels. So if you want to see more information on how to do the stuff for the CentOS or the Red Hat kernel, please leave notes in the description or in the comments, and I'll add the link to the description to the newer how-to documents to do it on those other platforms. And again, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, because this content I'm building for you guys, so hopefully it's useful and you can get up and started running the tools that you like. Until then, I will talk to you later.